Hi everyone. Today I'm going to continue reading Robin Hood. So this is Robin Hood of Sherwood Forest by Ann McGovern, Chapter 3, How Robin Hood Turns Butcher. For a time after Little John joined Robin Hood's band, the outlaws lived an easy, pleasant life in the greenwood. They spent the full summer months testing their skill and strength at shooting, wrestling, and merry bouts with the quarterstaff. But the day came when Robin Hood yearned for the high road and adventure. He called Little John to him and said, "'Tis a good day to fetch a guest to dine at our board." At this, Little John laughed loudly, for he had heard Robin tell stories about rich merchants and noblemen who were brought to the greenwood as guests and then sent on their way with full bellies but empty purses. "I'd like a chance at that sport," said Little John. "I may topple the rest of the yeomen at quarterstaff, or shoot the king's deer at a distance of 80 yards. But I have yet to master the fine art of give and take." He laughed heartily, saying, "That is, giving to the poor that which we take from the rich." "Good Little John," said Robin, laughing with him, "thou art my right hand, and to show that I think thee worthy of that title, I will make thee a wager. 3 silver pennies are thine, if thou hast a better adventure than I this day." Little John readily agreed, and so it was. They left the leafy shelter of the greenwood and traveled on the high road to Nottingham town. At the wide fork in the road, they bade each other farewell. Little John turned to the left, and Robin to the right, each believing in his heart that he would outdo the other in merry sport. What befell Little John we shall hear in due time. Let us begin with Robin Hood's tale. Robin had not gone very far when he heard a creaking of wooden wheels. At the sight of a stout butcher driving a cart laden with meats, a bold plan crossed his mind. "Good morrow, friend," called Robin, stepping in front of the butcher's cart. "I pray thee, stop but a moment or two." "Prithee, fair fellow," said the butcher, "methinks you give me no choice, else my old mare will flatten thee in the road. Pray, do not keep me too long from my business." "What is now thy business may soon be mine," said Robin, his eyes all a twinkle. "Who art thou, knave, to be so bold with other people's business? In my country, a stout butcher like myself does not listen kindly to such remarks as you have just made." "Peace, brother," said Robin Hood. "'Tis easily seen that in any country thou art a stalwart knave. As for my name, know that thou speakst to Robin Hood." "Mercy!" cried the butcher in terror. "I have heard of thee, Robin Hood, and of thy bold band who rob openly on the king's high road. But I am only a poor butcher on his way to Nottingham town to earn an honest penny." "Tremble not, my friend," said Robin. "If truly you know of me, you should know well that the poor and honest have nothing to fear from the likes of us." "Then let me be on my way," said the butcher, still pale. "One moment more," laughed Robin. "To prove the truth of what I say, I would gladly strike a fair bargain with thee. Tell me, what is the best price thou can fetch for this old cart, tired mare, and all thy goodly meat?" The butcher thought hard, for he was an honest man, and fain would not cheat anyone, much less the bold man in Lincoln green who stood before him. Finally he answered, 10 gold pieces would be fair." Whereupon Robin drew forth a purse heavy with coin. "Done!" he exclaimed. "You'll find 10 gold pieces, and more besides." May the heavens bless thee, good Robin Hood, said the butcher joyfully. One more request, and this the last, said Robin. If thou wilt trade thy butcher's garb for this suit of Lincoln green, I will add still another gold coin. So the trade was made, and the butcher waved goodbye, a handsome suit on his back, a heavy purse at his girdle, and a puzzled frown on his face, for he knew not why Robin Hood chose to be, of all things, a butcher. Whistling a merry tune, Robin drove the mare and a heavy cart to the butcher's square in the market of Nottingham town. Most of the stalls were already filled, so Robin had to take a place near the end. As he wended his way, he called out, "Ho, fair lasses, good wives, gentle dames, follow me, follow me. Here is the reddest beef, the sweetest lamb, the whitest veal, and the fattest mutton, the likes of which you have never seen." Then all around looked at the young butcher, for they had never seen one handsomer. And the next words he cried made some stare and others roar with laughter. For thus he spoke, "My prices are wondrous fair. Fat abbots and rich noblemen who buy from me must pay double, for I want not their trade. But honest men, poor widows, and gentle folk may have 3 pennyworths of meat for 1 penny only. And bonny lasses have the best bargain. To them I will charge naught but a kiss. So follow me, follow me." Follow him they did, the good wives and widows, who got more than they paid for, and the fair lasses who were drawn to his stall, not so much for his good meat, but for his bold manner and blue eyes, and a kiss from his merry lips. Soon the last mutton chop was sold in Robin Hood's stall, and the other butchers started to grumble amongst themselves, for their stalls were still well filled with meat. Some said, "He must be a thief who has stolen a poor butcher's cart and wares." "Nay," the others argued, "who ever heard of a thief who would give his money freely?" Another said, "Methinks he must be a rich man's son without a care, who would laugh his money away to the last penny." And so they argued and wondered about the stranger, until one of the butchers said, "I mean to find out more, for whoever this knave is, perchance we could learn from him." So saying, he went up to Robin Hood and greeted him thus, "Thou hast had good fortune this day, friend. Now, wouldst thou like to see good times this night?" "Merry Sport is my middle name," Robin laughed. "What is thy game?" "Feasting, good sir," the butcher replied. "Come with us to the banquet hall. Tonight the Sheriff of Nottingham is holding a feast for all the butchers. Since it is well known that our sheriff dearly loves a good table, the fare is sure to be of thy liking." "Agreed, and gladly," Robin Hood said, for he would like nothing better than to meet his enemy face to face. To himself he said, "Tonight Little John will surely lose our wager, for what could be a better adventure than to make a fool of the sheriff, if more of a fool he can be made to be?" A goodly crowd was already assembled when Robin Hood joined the company of butchers in the sheriff's hall. The sheriff had heard tidings of the newcomer who dribbled away money like water. Since no man in all of England liked gold and silver more than the sheriff, he thought to make much of the handsome stranger. He said to himself, "Why should I not reap the benefits of a fool's generosity?" And knowing him not in his butcher's garb, he bade Robin sit at his right hand. At each of Robin's merry jests, the sheriff laughed loudest, for he was eager to gain the lad's favor. After much song, the serving men brought in platters laden with roasted meats and fowl on silver skewers, thick brown bread, and goblets brimming with red wine. Whereupon Robin sprang from his seat, raised his glass, and cried, "For such a goodly feast and stout company, I toast our host. Be care-free, knave, and spare not meat nor drink. For this board and all upon it I will pay, though it cost me my purse." Thereupon all the butchers rose, and the great hall echoed with their lusty cheers. "Thou art a merry blade," said the sheriff. "Surely thou hast many a head of horned beasts, and much rich land to spend thy gold so freely." Robin replied, "Truly, my brothers and I have 510 horned beasts, and none can we sell, which is why thou seest me in butcher's clothes. As for my land, it is too wide to count the acres." Hearing this, the sheriff's eyes gleamed with greed. Lowering his voice so none could hear, he said, "How much are thy cattle worth? Perchance I could help thee find a buyer for them." "Dost thou think 300 gold pieces too much to ask for them?" Robin said, feigning innocence. 300! The sheriff sputtered, nearly choking on his meat at the ridiculously low price Robin had quoted. "Then thou thinkest the price high," said Robin, pretending to misunderstand. "Aye, 'tis high," said the sheriff slowly, knowing in his heart that the cattle were worth twice as much. "But I have taken a strong liking to thee, and fain I would help thee in thy plight. I myself will buy from thee, albeit the price is high." Then the sheriff spoke softly, lest some honest butcher should take Robin to task for selling so cheap. "Let us settle the matter at once. Hard silver and gold will I pay, if thou canst deliver the beasts on the morrow." "No, that I cannot do," said Robin, "for they scatter as they graze over my wide lands. But thou mayst come to see them, and choose the best for thy keeping. 'Tis only an hour's ride from here at most." "'Tis late for such a journey," said the sheriff, "and in the darkness I may miss a prize. If thou wilt lead me to thy lands on the morrow, gladly shall I give thee a bed this night." Now, tricking an enemy is one thing, Robin thought, but sharing his house overnight is another. He liked not the sheriff's plan, but taking care not to rouse his suspicion, he thanked the sheriff and accepted, pretending gladness all the while. Pleased that the matter was so easily settled, and dreaming of the gold that would clink in his purse, the sheriff called out, "Ho! More drink for our honored guest! Where is my new serving man, Reynold Greenleaf?" And he turned to Robin and said, "No stouter man will thou ever see than the man who donned my colors this very day, and promised to serve me faithfully. Why, his arm is as wide as the stoutest timber in this hall." Whereupon he bellowed, "Reynold Greenleaf, come hither and bring drink to my guest." Robin turned eagerly to see who this bold knave might be. He nearly dropped his goblet when he spied none other than Little John. Little John was no less surprised to see his master dressed in a butcher's garb, but they quickly hid the laughter that threatened to bubble from their lips. "You spoke fair," Robin said to the sheriff. "A stouter lad, truly, I have never seen." A frown appeared on the sheriff's brow as he said, Methinks if I should ever do battle with that villain Robin Hood, my man Greenleaf would crack the scoundrel's skull. Thy man looks as strong as a giant oak indeed, said Robin. But I have heard tale of the right-hand man in Robin's band called Little John, who they say can flatten any man with but one stroke of his quarterstaff. The sheriff, wishing to put an end to such unpleasant talk, rose to depart. Lay thy head down at an early hour, he told Robin Hood. I am eager to have an early start to see those great beasts on the morrow. As soon as the sheriff had left the hall, Little John came to where Robin was sitting, and while filling his goblet, leaned down and whispered in his ear, Come see me in the kitchen, master, for I have a story to tell which will bring forth laughter from thee for many a month. The end.